Hi, it's Alice Wheaton here again. Thank you for joining me. I want to talk to you today about the various steps into it that can make a sales meeting as productive as it can. What a lot of people do is, of course, they talk more than the client does. And when that happens is that, generally speaking, they miss out on what was said. So it's important to be able to summarize what the client said, so that the client feels listened to and heard and understood. That's really important. Elicit questions from your clients. It's really important to have the kind of conversation where the client will feel to ask you questions. If you've been someone who shows up and throws up and asks and talks too much, your client is going to think to himself, yikes, if I ask that guy a question, it's going to be like asking someone what time it is and they tell you how the clock was made. And whoever you are, those of you who talk too much. Because we've all talked too much on various occasions, but someone who is really an over-talker is someone that has no sensitivity and no compassion for their audience. They're all about themselves. They want to be right all the time. They want to be heard. And they want to get their point across, even if they have to bully someone. So when you ask a question, do you have any questions? And the answer is no, it's all good. Then you ask one more question. And that question is, can we go ahead and soil test those sections that we talked about? Can we go ahead and test those sections that we talked about? Because lots of people agree that an idea is good in concept, but you will really know for sure if they believe that when they're willing to commit. So when you ask that, then you know exactly where the client is. Now the other thing is to anticipate objections. People give objections for lots of reasons. One of them is that they give objections so that they can flesh out the situation. And sometimes they give objections to shut a salesperson up, to stop the sales process altogether. And if you're good at dealing with objections and not floundering around, then the objection will actually serve you, because you'll know exactly where your client is. Now, I'm going to move this off, and I'm going to invite you to, that may be in the frame there, record the objections. Your clients may have some objections that you've never heard before. You see, we all start out in our sales career, we have assumptions. And so one of the ways to test our assumptions is to record the new ones. Just write it down and answer the client then as you go forward. But write it down, and if you feel that you didn't do a great job, commiserate with your peers. Say, I had a client who asked me this question or gave me this objection. It was the weirdest one ever. What would you have said? That way you're continually optimizing your own process. And then, of course, re-ask. It's perfectly okay to ask 3 times for what you want. So re-ask for a smaller amount of field or acres that you're willing to test. I've talked to some people and they say, nope, I want to do 6 sections. Well, others say, if it's going to take me getting a foothold into that farm, I'm going to do a smaller than a full section. So re-ask for a smaller amount. If the answer is nope, that we're not going to go ahead this year, throw out that request, depending on where you are. Some people don't want to, but others will. And so the final one is agree to a follow-up process. You say, well, you know what? Times change, people change, technology change. What I'd like to do, though, is stay in touch with you to let you know if there's anything new on the market, to find out if there's new information that I can share. Agree to a follow-up. They might say, well, the best way to follow up with me is an email. The best way to follow up with me is a text. The best way to follow up is a phone. So get that modality straight from the client, but reassure them that you're not going to be a pest. Now, when I was working with Carmen, she said, you know, I'd love to get your email, and I promise that I won't bug you. I'll just use that for when I've got really good information that you need to know. And the clients always agreed. And here's a little caveat here. Typically, when a call is going bad, when the client might be defensive, the farmer might say, "Yeah, well, I know so and he didn't get any results," or "We're using your competitor and we're terrifically happy and can't understand why everyone's not using them." When the call is going bad, that's a time when the instinct to talk too much is strong. So please be aware of that and hold your counsel, and make sure that when you talk that you have something to offer and that you haven't said it before. Thanks for being with me, and good luck on those calls. Bye for now.